Stop for a second and ask yourself this uncomfortable question. Why does it feel like no matter how hard you work, you're always behind, always stressed about money, always one emergency away from disaster? What if I told you this isn't an accident, and it's not because you're lazy, unlucky, or bad with money? What if the real reason you're struggling is because the system was designed this way from the very beginning? Governments around the world use financial tricks so subtle, so normalized, that most people never realize they're being drained until it's too late. And by the end of this video, you'll see how money is quietly taken from you, how debt is disguised as opportunity, and why staying broke benefits the system more than fixing it. So stay with me, because once you see these tricks, you'll never look at money the same way again. The idea that governments exist purely to protect and serve their people sounds comforting, but history tells a much darker story. Because while governments do provide structure and stability, they also depend on one thing to survive: your money. And not just through obvious taxes, but through invisible mechanisms designed to extract wealth slowly, quietly, and continuously. So slowly that most people blame themselves instead of the system. One of the oldest tricks in the book is inflation, which is often explained as a natural economic phenomenon, something unavoidable, something technical. But in reality, inflation is one of the most powerful tools governments use to reduce your purchasing power without ever passing a new tax law. Because when prices rise and wages don't keep up, your money loses value, your savings shrink, and your future becomes more expensive. All while politicians tell you the economy is growing. Inflation acts like a silent tax, stealing from those who save and rewarding those who borrow. And the cruel irony is that responsible people who save money are punished the most, while reckless spending is encouraged. Because debt fuels the system, governments borrow massive amounts of money, central banks print more currency, and the cost of that decision is passed directly to you through higher prices, lower purchasing power, and constant financial anxiety. Another powerful trick is taxation layered so deeply that most people don't even know how much they're paying. Income tax takes a portion of your paycheck before you even see it. Sales tax takes another cut when you spend. Property tax punishes you for owning a home. Capital gains tax hits investments. Inflation erodes savings, and fees hide everywhere in between. By the time the average person understands how much is being taken, it's already gone, and the system counts on that confusion. Because confused people don't rebel, they comply. Debt is another weapon, and it's one of the most effective psychological traps ever created. Governments encourage debt through student loans, mortgages, credit systems, and consumer financing, all sold as opportunities, as pathways to success. But debt chains people to jobs they hate, keeps them afraid to take risks, and forces obedience through financial dependence. When you owe money, your choices shrink, your freedom disappears, and your energy goes toward survival instead of growth. Student loans are a perfect example. Young people are told that education is the key to success, but they're rarely told the full cost. Interest compounds, wages stagnate, and decades later, many are still paying for degrees that never delivered the promised financial freedom. Meanwhile, the system benefits from an educated but financially trapped workforce. Another trick is currency debasement, a concept as old as ancient Rome. When governments spend more than they collect, instead of cutting expenses, they create more money, diluting the value of existing currency. Your savings don't disappear overnight. They just quietly lose power year after year. This is why older generations could buy homes on a single income, while today, two incomes struggle to afford the same lifestyle. It's not because people became worse with money. It's because the rules changed. Wages didn't rise at the same pace as asset prices, and assets became tools for the wealthy to preserve value while ordinary people fell behind. The system rewards asset ownership and punishes labor, and most people are never taught this distinction. Financial education is rarely prioritized in schools, not by accident, but because financially literate citizens are harder to control. When people understand money, they ask dangerous questions, like why governments bail out corporations but not individuals, why banks get rescued while citizens are told to tighten their belts, why the cost of living rises faster than wages, and why debt is celebrated as growth. Another manipulation is fear-based economics. Governments and media often use fear to justify financial decisions. Recessions, crises, wars, pandemics, emergencies. Each one becomes a reason to print more money, increase debt, raise taxes, and expand control. And while some crises are real, the financial responses often benefit those already at the top, while ordinary people pay the price later through inflation, austerity, and reduced purchasing power. The middle class slowly disappears under this pressure, squeezed between rising costs and stagnant incomes. And history shows that when the middle class collapses, social stability collapses with it. Yet the cycle continues. Because short-term comfort is offered in exchange for long-term loss, stimulus checks feel like relief, but they are funded by future debt. Low interest rates feel helpful, but they inflate asset bubbles. Subsidies feel supportive, but they distort markets. Each solution creates a bigger problem down the line. Another hidden trick is how success is defined. Society celebrates consumption, not ownership. People are encouraged to buy newer cars, bigger homes, latest gadgets, all on credit. While true wealth-building behaviors like saving, investing, and delayed gratification are boring, unglamorous, and rarely promoted. This keeps people spending instead of accumulating assets, working instead of building leverage, dependent instead of independent. And over time, this dependency becomes normalized. People accept financial stress as a normal part of life. Anxiety becomes background noise. Paycheck to paycheck living becomes common. And questioning the system becomes rare. But the truth is uncomfortable. A financially stressed population is easier to manage, easier to distract, and less likely to challenge authority. This doesn't require conspiracy theories, just incentives. Systems naturally evolve to benefit those who control them, and governments, banks, and corporations operate within incentives that prioritize stability and control over individual freedom. The tragedy is that most people never learn these rules until they're already deep inside the game, and by then, escaping feels impossible. Yet history also shows that awareness is power. Understanding these tricks doesn't instantly make you rich, but it changes how you see money. It shifts your mindset from blame to strategy, from victimhood to awareness, from confusion to clarity. Once you understand inflation, you stop hoarding cash. Once you understand debt, you use it carefully or avoid it entirely. Once you understand assets, you aim to own instead of consume. Once you understand incentives, you stop playing a rigged game blindly. The purpose of this story isn't to create fear, but clarity. Because the system doesn't change overnight, but individuals who understand it can change their outcomes. Governments will continue using financial tools to manage populations. That's not new. What matters is whether you understand the game you're playing. Because money isn't just currency. It's control. It's psychology. It's power. And when you don't understand it, someone else decides your future for you. The real lesson hidden inside all of this is simple but powerful. Staying broke is not a personal failure. It's a predictable outcome of a system designed to extract value quietly. But awareness breaks that spell. Learning how money works gives you choices, and choices are the foundation of freedom. So ask yourself this as we end. If the system profits from you staying broke, what happens when you finally stop playing by its rules? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like this video if it opens your eyes, and subscribe to Finance TED Official. Because understanding money isn't about greed, it's about freedom. And once you see the tricks, you can never unsee them.